2, 3, let's switch this up.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you have not yet, please do subscribe, join a part of the family. Sorry that I look crazy, sorry about the lighting, and sorry about the background once again. We are in the depths of moving. The past two videos I've told you guys that sorry about the background, we're moving, floors are being done, and so there's going to be noises, there's going to be banging, and there's going to be an obscene background, but this will be the last week that you see this. I mean, Jesus take the wheel, babe. The lighting is absolutely atrocious. Whoa. There we go. Better. We don't look so crazy. Anyway, sorry that I look absolutely nuts. I've been sweating my ass off since I got back from church packing. So I wanted to do this video before I took my makeup off. So yeah. Also, let's take a minute for these dupes that I got off of Temu for $2. They're the Bottega dupes, so cute. Anyways, I want to
fix my lips. Oh my god, you guys, don't even start with me. I'm not in the mood.
I wanted to take a break off of the series that we've been doing, past two story times. I'll have them up in the cards. I wanted to take a break from that this week because I was going through one of my old journals and came across this story, and it still to this day haunts me. It's one of those things where it's so awkward, you don't really know what to do. So you've read the title, let's get into the tea. Now at a place where I feel comfortable. I had started my YouTube channel, okay? So this would have been the perfect story for how most of my story times go. I run home and tell the story immediately to you guys. This would have been the perfect scenario, but I didn't because of who this person was to me. Holy Moses. So rewind 2 years ago, I had gotten a message from one of my longest friends that I've ever had. We have known each other since literally first grade. And that's what makes this so weird and so awkward now, because like we can't go back from this. Like, again, sorry about the noises, floors are being done. So anyways, rewind back 2 years ago, this childhood friend of mine, keep in mind you guys, like I said, first grade, like I've been friends with this girl for years. I'm now 33 years old. We're talking about when we were 6. So this is like a 20 plus year friendship. That's crazy. I get a message from her on Facebook, which I don't really use Facebook other than to do lives and stuff like that. I don't really scroll through Facebook. I don't really post on Facebook, but I get a lot of DMs from you guys on Facebook, and I also get messages from like high school friends, like just people I grew up with. And this was one of those messages, and I hadn't heard from her in so long. So when I got the message, I was like, oh bananas, this is crazy. Haven't talked to you in forever. Like, you have kids. I don't want to give too many details, but she was getting separated from her person at the time, and I do think that a lot of that correlates into this, but it's the aftermath and how she behaved after everything happened that, I don't know. You guys let it loose in the comments and let me know. Yeah, I get this message. She's like, hey, do you want to hang out? I was like, perfect. My ex was gonna be working and I was off, so I thought, why not? So we pick a place to go eat. We go eat, everything's fine. She doesn't have her children with her while we're eating, and then she gets kind of weird towards the end of the lunch. She's on her phone, like, and don't get me wrong, like if you go out to eat with your friends, like it's normal for them to like check their phone, or maybe while you're waiting on appetizers or your meal, like maybe you scroll through TikTok for a minute, like fine. But like this was different. This was like 45 minutes of me like just eating and she's on her phone. And it's not scrolling or anything. It's like she's in a conversation. And I'm the type of person to where I'm not going to say anything to you, like, if that's the vibe, whatever. But I do remember, like, texting my ex, like, holy shit, like, this is so weird. And he's like, just leave. Like, that's crazy. Just leave. And I was like, no, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to try to continue to have this lunch with her, but, like, this is sus. So eventually I'm just like, is everything okay? Because it was that long. I had finished my food. She hadn't even, like, touched her food. Like, what is happening with it? Guys, ignore it. Anyways, my hair is just like everywhere moving, like there's just so much. But anyways, eventually it's like this long drawn out thing to where I'm like, is everything okay? Because she was on her phone that long, like they've taken my plate, she hasn't touched her food type shit. And the waitress keeps coming back like, is everything okay? Like, she's concerned that the food's not good type shit. And I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. Like, so then me and this waitress keep giving each other like weird facial expressions and like looking at each other like, girl, I don't know. Like, babe, me and you both are confused. Like, you don't know and I don't know what's going on. But then her facial expressions, like, you know when somebody is like having a texting argument, like they're going through it, that was the vibes. Like, she was angry texting. And so eventually I was like, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, everything's good. I'm like, okay, you know, just check in, like, your food came and I'm done. And we hadn't really said anything. Like, after the waitress came and took the appetizer, we did not speak. We did not speak. And it was probably 20 minutes after that that the food came, and then it probably took me another 20 minutes to eat my food. So literally, you all, like, damn near an hour, I'm sitting here in silence with someone across from me. It was that bizarre. So then she's like, oh my God, my food. And she starts eating. She's like, where's your food? And I was like, oh, I already ate. Like, it's good. Like, I'm not gonna wait on you, bitch. Like, if I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat, period. So she starts eating, and she's eating really, like, slow and, like, just kind of staring off. And I'm like, we'll call her Abigail. I'm like, Abigail, are you sure? Like, you're okay? Like, everything's good? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. Everything's fine. So the waitress keeps coming around, like, refilling my drink, because my food's gone. I've got it in the to-go, like, what was left in the to-go box. Like, it was, guys, it was so weird. And then eventually she looks up at me and she's like, you want to go shopping after this? And I was like, sure. You know, maybe she just needs somebody to talk to. That was the thing I was thinking. Like, maybe, you know, she's going through this separation. Like, maybe she just needs a friend. So we go shopping, and this is where things happen, y'all. So we're shopping, and we're in Hobby Lobby, just going down the aisles with our cart. And she looks over at me, and we were holding up, it was literally this time like 2 years ago, and all the Christmas stuff was out, and I was holding up this huge wreath, and I was like, this is really cute. It had ornaments all around it. It was a vibe. And so I'm like showing it to her, and I'm like, what do you think of this wreath? Like, I think this wreath would be really, really cute. It goes with like the Christmas vibe, because for me, I'm not like a pink Christmas person, okay? That is not a Christmas color. I cannot stand when people, I mean, do Christmas your way, but like Christmas is red and green. I'm so sorry. Like, that's the colors of Christmas. Like, I didn't make the rules. Like, that's just the vibes. So I can go off on a tangent on that for 100 years, but she just stares at the wreath for a minute, and then she looks at me and she's like,
have you ever been with a woman?
I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so this is where we're headed. And I'm like,
You know, yeah, obviously, we've all, like, probably dipped our toe into that pool.
but the pool was not for me. Like, I have been with somebody, but like, it wasn't for me. I just wasn't comfortable, you know, and it made her uncomfortable. It was just a really awkward, weird situation. And she was like,
oh, I think that I really want to be with one.
and I was like,
Well, you know, if that's something that you feel like you want to explore, by all means, like, you're going through this separation, if that's what you think is going to make you happy, by all means.
Go for it. And so we kind of shop in silence for another like probably 2-3 minutes. And then she turns around to me again and she's like,
I would want to do it with somebody I trust.
and this is when I knew like, fuck, this is about to be like super awkward because number one, I'm at that time in a committed relationship, like a long-term relationship with somebody. Number two, I have been down that road and that road is not for me. Number three, I have made this clear to her that it's not my journey. But if it's something that she is wanting and if that's something that she feels that is right for her in her life, by all means go for it. And I don't want to seem aggressive or rude to her because she's going through so much. So I'm gonna be patient, right? And I'm like,
Yeah, I can understand that. I was like, but maybe you should, you know, venture out there, like maybe go to a couple bars.
I had met her ex on a dating app, and so I said maybe an app and like whatever. And she was like,
No, I would rather it be with like a really close friend.
in my mind at that moment, like I feel at this point like I need to make myself clear. So because I felt the pressure of what she was digging for. Like if you know what I'm like, she's standing really close to me in my face and like she's wanting me to be like, oh okay, well let's go and fuck in the car, you know? That was the energy. It was very strong. And listen, one of my greatest friends in the world, my best friend in the world, is bisexual. I have never, it's not like, and this is such a big misconception, is, oh, they're lesbian, so they're just gonna want to fuck you all the time. You can't be friends with them. That is so stupid and the most lame thing I've ever heard in my life. But like, guys, the energy, like I knew where she was getting at, okay? So I decided to make myself clear. And I was like,
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best idea because that could really ruin a friendship if the other person wasn't interested.
and this is when she snaps. It's like she completely snaps. And she's like,
I just feel like as a best friend, that's something that you should do for me.
y'all, the bitch was too stunned to speak. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do, say, because I know so many lesbian, bisexual women. I've never been made to feel so uncomfy in my life. And I know it's because she's got a lot going on and this is new for her. But like, this is just like a piece of information for anybody. If somebody is like giving you like no, that means no. No means no, okay? So then when she says, you know, well, I feel like as a friend, she says it that way, you should do this for me. I'm like, Allison, hey, like, I'm in a committed relationship. I am straight. Like, that's not something that I would ever want to do with you or any woman for that matter. I am comfortable in the relationship that I'm in at the time. And no, it's not happening. Like, I put my foot down. Like, no, it's not happening. I've been gentle with you up to this point, and now you're getting aggressive with me. So, baby, I'm going to return the energy. Really awkward. And we leave. She doesn't say another thing. I see her like start to go on dates with females and stuff. And so I eventually start to like pictures on Facebook and whatever, you know, good for you. You've ventured out, you've started to meet women, and then, you know, she starts to change her bio and all these things, and I'm happy for her. Great, that's awesome. And enough time goes around to where it's now Valentine's Day, and a bunch of girls I went to school with decide to have this Valentine's Day dinner, and she comes as well. And this is where the story takes a serious turn. Fabulous time. And then we go back to a friend of mine's house. She had just bought her first house with her husband, and we go to her house, and all of us have our significant other or dates, and we're drinking, having a good time, whatever. And Allison, or did I call her Allison or Abigail? I think I called her Abigail. Abigail had come alone. And so I'm sitting on a love sack by myself, having a drink, and two of my friends are sitting like diagonal to me in love sacks. All of the men and wives and girlfriends, there was a bunch of them standing on the back porch, and then a bunch of us other girls were in the living room, including two of my gay guy friends. In the living room, all in love sacks on the sofa, like whatever, and we're all just having drinks or whatever. Abigail makes a beeline to me, sits in the love sack with me, and I'm like, fine, whatever, we're having a good time, we're drinking. She then, y'all, and keep in mind, I'm kind of laid back like this in a love sack.
I'm in a fucking love sack, okay?
Number one, let's just talk about how hard they are to get out of. I'm basically trapped in a love sack, and I'm wearing a black shirt that's V-neck, and I have a bombshell bra on, which was a mistake on my part, and I take full accountability for. She puts her shot glass in my chest. Keep in mind, I'm mid-conversation with like two of my other friends. Puts the shot glass in my chest, leans over, gets it out with her mouth, and takes a shot. I'm like, okay, she's probably just a little drunk. She's also here by herself. Everybody else is here with their person. This is her first party with all of us friends, and she's alone. I get it. I understand, okay? I think nothing more of it. Then she puts her arm around me. Okay, fine, we're in a love sack. It's not that comfortable. Maybe she's about to flop out. Significant others start to walk in from outside. I receive a text, and I see immediately it's from my gay best friend John. And I can only imagine what he's saying, because at this moment in time,
Abigail is putting her hand on my crotch.
yeah. Yeah, I know it. It's crazy. Well, I didn't know what to do. So I crossed my legs, and all of our friends are like, what the fuck? Like, what, huh? What is happening? And my ex comes over and is like, here babe, let me help you up out of the seat. Like, so awkward, guys. It was so 10 out of 10 awkward. Like, ox. But, okay? Get up out of the beanbag, she does too. Comes, stands over next to me. I look at my ex like, what do we do? I'm looking at John like, what the fuck? Like, it's almost like I'm looking for someone to help me. It's like, what do I do? Because I don't, and also keep in mind, you guys, I'm drunk. I don't want to embarrass her in front of everybody basically that we know. I'm trying to do this in a kind and polite way. That was taken from me in like 20 seconds. When she whispers in my ear, keep in mind, I'm standing right next to my ex. He's right here. She's right here. She leans over and whispers in my ear,
We're gonna fuck tonight.
excuse me?
She leans over, whispers at my ear. My ex is right here. And
So he hears every word of this, and I didn't know that at the time. So in that moment, I didn't know what to do but run. I go to the bathroom. Friends run in there, John and another unnamed friend. And they're like, what just happened? What did she just say? Abigail. And I said, she just told me that we're gonna fuck tonight. Well, of course, my ex isn't going to confront a female. He's not going to do that. He's not going to get aggressive and confront a female. So I hear a knock on the bathroom door, and I think it's her. And I'm like, I'm not answering the door, babe. Like, I'm not doing it. So John peeks open the door, and he's like, it's your ex. And so he comes in, he's like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, she just said, we're gonna fuck tonight. And he said, yeah, I know. I heard every single word. Like, I know what she said. I'm just standing in that bathroom, you guys. Like, you have to understand, like, number one, I'm confused. Number two, I'm embarrassed because I'd already made it clear to her that that wasn't gonna happen. And by her saying that, I felt like other people were thinking that we had something going on the side. I was afraid my ex thought that. And of course, nobody did, but I was drunk and there was just a lot going on in my mind. And so I stand there for a minute and I'm like, what do I do? And they were all like, you need to make it like perfectly clear, like it's not going to happen. And so I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that tonight because I don't want to do that tonight in front of all of our friends. I don't want to do that. I'm drunk, she's drunk, like I don't want to do that. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get my hoodie and we're gonna go. So that's what I did. I went into my friend's bedroom where all of our jackets and stuff was. I grabbed my hoodie. My ex already had his. I'm like digging for my hoodie, the lights are out, can't really see. I can't find mine. So I turn the light on and turn around to look for my hoodie and she's standing there. Guys, y'all, I about jumped out of my skin, number one, because I'm drunk. And now you just jumped out like Freddy Krueger, like what the fuck? And she's like, come on, please. Like I've always been in love with you. Like I've always had feelings for you. I need this. And I was like, Abigail, it is not going to happen. And you're starting to make me extremely uncomfortable. Like it's not going to happen. She then like pushes me on the bed. My friend comes in the room because I've been in her room for so long. She sees this, she hollers for her husband, which then makes my ex run into the room. So when I tried to not make a deal about it, it turned into this huge deal. It turned into this huge intervention at my friend's house because not only had she tried to do that with me, after all of this comes out, two of my other friends that I wasn't really that close with, but I went to school with and we'd known forever, they were like, yeah, you've done the same to me, like it's making me uncomfortable, like blah, blah, blah. So then we have like this full intervention and talk with her, like, listen, if we're going to continue to be friends, you have to respect our relationship and respect our boundaries and respect our sexuality. Like we're respecting yours. Give us the same in return. And I just felt so bad because she's going through this separation. She's, you know, about to be she's a single mom now. Like she's going through all this shit. And the last thing I want to do is talk about how I don't want to fuck her in front of all of our friends and make her feel like shit. You know, already living in the Bible Belt, being gay is not the greatest thing. And so I felt really shitty. So a few days later, I reach out to her via text. And I'm like, hey, the way everything went the other night really sucks. And I really want to try to make it right. And she sends, and I don't think anything about the winky face, guys. She sends me winky face, come by and let's talk tonight. And I was like, okay. And for my own, like, security and also just have a witness there for whatever may go down, thank God I took my friend with me. I took John. And John goes with me. We go. And when she answers the door and sees John, she's immediately kind of like, she looks like not the happiest about it, but I had texted her and said, hey, me and John are on the way. Like she knew that John was coming. I think she thought I was texting her. I then later found out that she thought I texted her that in case my ex seen my text. But no, babe, like I texted you that because our friend John was really coming with me. And so we walk in and she doesn't care that John's there, and she still tries again to have sex with me. Begs me actually in front of our friend to have sex with me. And so that was the last time I talked to Abigail. Waited to make this story time in hopes that we could salvage the friendship. But as time has went on, she has continued to do these types of things, not only to myself, but pretty much every female in our friend group, to the point to where it's, I just think that this is a part of who she is now, and that's unfortunate, but I do wish her the best. And also, like, if someone just continuously tells you no, just take that for what it is. And if they ever change their mind, like, they'll come to you and you say, like,
Yo, you remember when you talked about us fucking? Let's do that.
But yeah, she most certainly did not take no. So yeah, that's the story time about the time my childhood friend tried to fuck me. But anyways, if you've had a story like this in your life, if you've had a situation like this, comment down below and let me know, because I'm curious. Is this something that happens? I'm curious. I know Tara's World shared in a vlog one time that she had something like this happen, so it's very bizarre, very peculiar, and I'm curious if you all have had the same thing. Be sure you subscribe before you leave. Turn on your notifications. Maybe YouTube will like me and remind you that I post. Fingers crossed. Hee hee. Until the next time, bye.